Greetings, November 18th, 2014. I decided to re-video this as I added a couple of more things from high school notebooks of mine on the mat at bottom left. I'll say a few things about the accoutrements here, even though they will be explained in the text description accompanying the video. So the lino cut was done in late 1972. The same month I began my freshman college art studies at Parkland Junior, later Parkland Community College in Champaign, Illinois. The original print was this singular image as we see there. There is a video up of framed proof of that, which is owned by my mother. As this was dated 1973, I'm assuming I did the multiple image with the 5 proofs printed adjacent to each other in early 73. This was on the cover of a notebook written by me in ballpoint pen, Support Academic Freedom. It didn't actually have to do with, I don't recall being suspended for protests against the war at my high school, Martin Van Buren in Queens Village, New York, but I was suspended at least 3 or 4 times for wearing blue jeans to school. And I graduated in spring '68. The year after I graduated, they completely revised dress codes throughout New York City public school system. And so the students who were in school in '69 and after, both boys and girls were allowed to wear blue jeans. And girls were allowed to wear jeans and other slacks, pants for the first time. Through '68, they had to wear skirts only. So that was a big change for female students, and for male students, of course, being able to wear blue jeans was well, it was just sought after. Out in New York, I remember they called them, maybe they still do, dungarees, a term which would be basically unheard of in other states and places I've lived, like Illinois, Missouri, and Washington State. These were also on the cover of a notebook. And kind of like heavier than cardstock would have been, offset printed back in that era, pre-photocopy store days, and certainly pre-internet. Student Mobilization Committee, 17 East 17th Street, New York City. The button I got sometime in spring of '68. I don't remember if I got it at the same time when I had gone into Manhattan with a high school friend the day after Reverend Dr. King was assassinated, and we took part in a memorial march, which was somewhere in Manhattan. The paper armband, which says "Our King Will Never Die," donated by Harlem Printing Shop, 51 West. It looks like 12th, but I think it's just kind of, it's probably 129th Street, which would make more sense. That would be a Harlem address as opposed to a village address. Village referring to Greenwich Village. Student mobilization to end the war in Vietnam buttons. This one's dated 1967. Freedom Ride Corps. This would have been, I'm guessing, 62, 63, 64, 1965 or thereabouts. The Chile C. Junta No Chicago Peace Council political button I would have gotten while I was living in Champaign, Illinois. Again, at the time, sometime in '73, I don't remember what month it was, where President Allende was overthrown and the military regime took over violently and murderously in Chile, led by General Pinochet. There you have it. So I didn't mention the image for this was from a photograph I had seen, I'm guessing in a newspaper, perhaps a magazine like Time or Newsweek, of a Vietnamese woman with a pistol against her head. And I didn't save any record of where I had seen the photo. As I recall, it was remarkably similar to a very famous photo from around, might even been when Kennedy was president, 63, of a suspected Viet Cong in just like, kind of like civilian clothes, who was photographed by a news photographer, a photojournalist, with a Saigon South Vietnamese police officer, like an official, like higher ranking, had his gun pointed at the suspected Viet Cong man's head. And that's what the photo was. I don't remember seeing a photo. He then blew him away. He shot the guy to death. And that particular photo had been widely disseminated worldwide in news sites. There you have it. Vietnam Special #1, late 1972, early 73, with a whole bunch of kind of Americana history here pertaining to the Vietnam War, and also Chile and Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.